Okay, here we are in downtown Marshall, again, North Carolina. Marshall is the county seat of Madison County, and we're right next to this is the courthouse, and I'm speaking to Chris Brown, who works for the Community Housing Coalition of Madison County, CHC, and basically, I won't explain what they do. I'll let Chris do that. Chris Brown, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Can you explain a little what CHC is all about?
Sure. It's a nonprofit, 501c3. It's a community-based nonprofit. It was started over a decade, really small organization that's kind of grown organically over the last 10 years that focuses on urgent and emergency home repairs for folks in Madison County.
Okay, so people who can't afford it, or does that mean anyone who has an emergency home repair can come to you and get it fixed, or is it people who can't afford to or don't have insurance who would qualify to get their home emergency repaired by the CHC?
There's an application process everybody goes through. It's based on income and need. We usually help folks that are 80% or below of area median income. Okay. So when you say emergency, then we're not talking about a tornado ripped off your roof. You're talking about emergency because the housing is basically not fit for habitation, or what constitutes an emergency when you say emergency need? It's funny that you said the tornado ripped off a roof. That's actually something we've had to deal with. So it's both. Last year we had a woman's home, elderly woman, 78 years old. Windstorm came along and literally peeled her roof off like a can. But often it is just urgent repairs due to very poor housing conditions. The housing conditions in Madison County have been an issue for a very long time. It's a very rural community where a lot of the industry has left, and the housing stock of the county is hard to get to due to the terrain and geography of the area. And just the culture of the area creates a lot of this idea of just taking care of yourself and not really improving houses as they need to.
Right. And Madison County, just give us a quick little history. Madison County, I know we're next to Asheville, North Carolina, which is a growing city and a very rich county. Does Madison County share that richness?
No, definitely not. It's one of the poorest counties in North Carolina traditionally. It's an historically agricultural county, which much of that agriculture has left because it was tobacco, and tobacco has left in most of the United States for low labor rates.
Right, so the low labor rates of the treaties, the GATTs, and the NAFTAs of the world that have taken away labor from America and brought it to other places, so places back home that suffer, such as Madison County. And what kind of houses are the people living in? I see a lot of trailers as I've gone by. So do you have a lot of families raising children in these small trailers that are unfit for habitation sometimes? What do you see in the day sometimes?
It's a mix. Often it's trailers. Trailers are definitely the bane of our existence, in our opinion. Most trailers aren't fit past 10 years of their life, especially in this climate. We live in a very moist subtropical climate in the mountains, so we have high warms, high colds, and it definitely causes damage to the homes. A lot of the homes are also, though, old farmhouses that were built into the side of the mountain long before building codes came along in the 70s, and so we deal with lead paint sometimes as far as a health concern. We also deal with holes in the floor where there's vermin and critters coming in. Mold is a big problem that we deal with.
Okay, so it sounds like you have your hand full, and your money comes from volunteers. I'm sorry, your workforce comes from volunteers, and there's a few people who were paid for the organization, and your money comes from where exactly?
Mostly independent donors. Individual donors. We're heavily a community-based organization. If it wasn't for independent donors, we wouldn't be able to keep the lights on or pay our people. Right. We're small staff there. We're 3 part-time paid staff, but the majority of the work that we do on an annual basis is done by volunteers. We estimate about $400,000 to $500,000 worth of labor and materials are donated through CHC every year to Madison County.
Well, thank you very much for that, Chris. That's So it's working on the community-based community again. Here we are in North Carolina. We have community popping up all the time, and this community housing coalition is propped up by donors who are fortunate enough to have the money and the expertise and actually the materials to give to the project. And it sounds like the backbone of the project is those people who give to the people who are often too often forgotten about in this small but poor county and quite beautiful county of North Carolina. Thank you. Joe Diomede signing off, Telly Mombram.